Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Inclusive, the Inquirer webinar series presented by the Philippine Daily Inquirer. My name is Juliet Haveliana, and I will be your moderator for this event. Inclusive is a series of webinars produced by the Philippine Daily Inquirer. This is streamed live on Inquirer.net's Facebook page, and we invite everyone to join our discussion by posting your comments online. Our topic for today will be the best practices of our local government units in responding to the pandemic and how their cities are coping and thriving under the new realities. Before we introduce our guests, allow me to share the Inquirer's exclusive offer for our viewers and readers. a 30-day free trial of the Philippine Daily Inquirer's digital version called the Inquirer Plus. You can see the QR code on your screens now for details on how to avail of this exclusive offer. Okay, today we celebrate the Inquirer's 35th anniversary. And for this special edition of Inclusive, we are happy to have as guests two of the most engaging and most active mayors in Metro Manila, Mayor Francis Zamora of San Juan and Mayor Isko Moreno of Manila. Mayor Francis, Mayor Isko, thank you for taking some time off your busy schedules to join us today. We head first to San Juan to introduce our first speaker, the 19th, tama ba? Mayor of San Juan. Mayor Francis Zamora is a young and energetic public servant whose modern and hands-on approach to governance ended the Ejercito Estrada dynasty of almost 5 decades. When we say young, he just celebrated his birthday a few days ago, right, Mayor? Okay to mention your age? Yeah. Anyway, he entered politics in 2007 as city councilor, and at the age of 30 became vice mayor in 2010, serving for 2 terms until 2016. He earned his master's degree in public administration from the University of the Philippines and finished an executive education program at Harvard University, as well as a program for business management at New York University. He graduated from De La Salle University with a degree in Bachelor of Arts, major in psychology. Towering at 6'5", Mayor Francis played center back in his days at La Salle Green Hills and was team captain for the Green Archers with 2 championships pa, Mayor, the UAAP men's basketball. Good morning, Mayor Francis.
Yes, good morning, Juliet. Of course, good morning, Mayor Isko, iniidolo kong mayor ng lungsod ng Maynila, Mona, at sa lahat po ng mubuo ng Inquirer. Maraming salamat po sa pag-imbita sa amin. And yes, I just celebrated my 43rd birthday last December 5. Still young at heart. Medyo bata pa naman.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor, and a happy birthday again. So if
Thank
Mayor
you.
Francis is Francisco Javier, our next guest is also Francisco, but now more popularly known as Mayor Isko Moreno. Mayor Isko started early in politics and became the youngest ever elected city councilor, the youngest ever elected city mayor, and the youngest ever elected mayor of the city of Manila. His very colorful life story, from his background of poverty to being an actor and a politician, now a household name, has captivated the imagination of many people, not only among the masses, but also business leaders and foreign diplomats. The U.S. Ambassador Sung Kim described him as the total rock star. Mayor Isko was a member of the Sangguniang Pandungsod when he was 23 and served 3 terms as councilor. He was vice mayor of Manila for 9 years from 2007 to 2016. After serving as vice mayor to former President and Manila Mayor Joseph Estrada, it was sweet victory for Mayor Isko, who was elected the 22nd mayor of the capital city. Quite coincidentally, while one of you is from San Juan and one is from Manila, you both came out against an Estrada. Good morning, Mayor Isko. You can greet our audience now.
Hi, Juliet. Magandang umaga sa iyo at sa mga staff natin dyan sa Inquirer. Happy 35th anniversary sa inyong lahat, sa inyong matagumpay na taon ng pagpapahayag ng mga balita at makatotohanang balita at fair na balita. At sa akin, Tokayo, happy birthday, Tokayo, Mayor Francis. Happy birthday sa iyo. Marami kaming commonalities ni Mayor Francis Zamora. Sabi nga ni Juliet. Sa atin din mga viewers na nanonood ngayon, sa mga followers ng Inquirer, welcome to sa Inclusive. At we'll try to address as many questions as possible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayors. So we'll go to our first question. We would like to ask our two mayors to give us a quick situationer of COVID-19 in their respective cities. So let's head over to San Juan. Mayor Francis, I read that your goal is zero cases of COVID this month, right? Where are we in that target, Mayor?
Hey, Juliet, if I may share, as of December 8th, our active cases are down to just 46. So with 46 active cases and 3,297 recoveries, we are just 46 cases away from achieving zero. Of course, zero is very, very difficult. I will not pretend that it's easy. But if you do the math, last September we had 680 cases, and in the last 2 months we have been below 100. So we are just trying to really bring this number even lower. Of course, the challenge is the Christmas season, and nandiyan yung Kapaskuhan, and we are experiencing, of course, an increase in volume of people who are going out, and this is really expected because after 9 months of being under community quarantine, itong Pasko talagang inaabangan ng mga mamamayan natin na kahit papaano bumalik sa medyo normal yung buhay. Of course, families will celebrate together, communities will do the same. So ito yung challenge. In fact, DILG is very supportive because they help us in terms of how to better prepare for the holidays. LGUs will really have a challenging time, but kaya naman po ito eh. Ang goal ko lang dito really is hindi lang magkaroon ng surge, no? Masustain lang itong 46 namin, plus minus a little cases, we should be okay. So that is where we are right now, and during the course of our webinar, I will share some of our best practices, but I believe that will be later on.
Thank you, Mayor. We go to Mayor Isko. Last month, I think you gave 100,000 pesos incentive for 73 COVID-free barangays in the past two months. Are there more barangays, or are you going to give more incentives, Mayor? And can you give us a quick rundown of where you stand now in terms of number of COVID cases in Manila? Mayor Isko.
Yes, that's true, no, Juliet. We challenge our barangay to really participate and cooperate in our plan since day one, which is code, no, contain and delay. That's the only thing that we can do so far in the absence of certified, accredited, registered vaccine, no. And I'm grateful to those barangay who really participated. I think most of them participated. It's just that may mga barangay kasi na may isa pang nag-positive. It's a 2-month program na nilaunch natin na kailangan walang kailangan zero cases sa kanilang barangay. I have 896 barangay, no?
Wow. Okay.
But be that as it may, may mga nanalo naman sa awa ng Diyos. 73 of them, and 100,000 were given as additional funds to barangay, respective barangay. Then ngayon nag-extend kami, naggawa kami ng panibago December 1 to January 31. Inulit namin. So yung 73 barangay, kapag na-zero ulit nila, may additional silang 100,000. So 200,000 na mapapanalunan nila. Okay. Yun namang mga barangay na hindi nag-qualify at first at magka-qualify at second plan ay makakatanggap ng 100,000. And as of today, sa awa naman ng Diyos, out of 896 barangays, 64 barangays pa lamang ang nagkaroon ng infection simula December 1. Now, let me share it to you what really transpired in the city in terms of infection. You know, Juliet, talagang kabagabagabag itong coronavirus na ito. Talagang minsan nagugulantang na lang kami mga mayor, biglang lumolobo from no reason. Not really no reason, but you'll be just amazed that biglang gumanon yung numero, no? Talaga napaka-fluid ng sitwasyon. In fact, at the time we had about 1,300, 1,400 regularly active cases in the city of Manila. But I'm happy to share it to you while there is still danger, no? Gusto ko maliwanag lang 'yan sa ating manonood, ano? While there is still danger in the city of Manila with regard to infection with this dreadful disease coronavirus, no? We have as of 12 o'clock yesterday, which is our cutoff, we align our cutoff with the national government, no, and DOH. Meron kaming 412 na kaso, active cases. At nalulungkot ako, Juliet, sapagkat meron tayong 681 succumb from this dreadful disease. No, nakikiramay tayo sa mga pamilya na yan ay taga-lungsod ng Maynila. Sa kabilang banda, bagay naman na aking pinagpapasalamat sa Diyos, no, at sa aking mga doktor, nurses at medical frontliners, we have survived 22,613 active cases at the time, infected individual. So, as you can see, no, Manila is a very challenging city in such a way, comparatively to other cities, with due respect to other cities, because we are the center of commerce, no? Kaya ako nagpapasalamat sa Diyos dahil we have about 2.4 million nighttime population and about 3 million daytime population, no? And the most dense city, if not in the country, in Asia, at 74,000 population per square kilometer. And that 74,000 population in a square kilometer, most of them lives below and in just poverty line, no? Kaya napakahirap ng espasyo, no? The way we heard, and you've been, I think, Inquirer for that matter has been reporting that also there are infection within the household, no? Kaya medyo dahil sa masikip doon na nagkaka-infeksyon. But be that as it may, 412, like Mayor Zamora, is also grateful that he has 46 and about 1 million of population. Totoo po yun. Kasi pag kami pong mga mayor minsan, pag tinitingnan namin yung numero, dahil kabisado namin yung aming kanya-kanyang bayan o kanya-kanyang syudad, talagang natataranta kami tuwing may report na darating sa amin. At kapag yung lugar, no, geography, no, doon nagkaka-infeksyon, lalo nakakabaka kapag yung lugar na yun ay kabisado naming densely populated area. But so far, I can honestly say it's there, but it's being managed. Now, the risk is being managed. Now, what are we expecting, like the way Mayor Zamora said a while ago, is marami kaming uncertainties, marami pa kami hindi alam sa buong December. What will transpire in the entire December for two reasons. No? One, it's the weather condition. Ano ang epekto sa ating mga Pilipino in a tropical country who will experience a cold weather for the X numbers of days in the remaining days of this year and the first month of 2021? That is one question. Because in other countries, they already tested their weather condition na nakaka-apekto sa tao. Sa atin, wala pa. So kaya talaga medyo may kaba kami At kaya hindi kami
Okay.
nagsasawang paalala talaga sa tao na mag-ingat. Second, the worrisome sa aming mga mayor, ano magiging habit ng tao toward celebrating the holidays? Are we gonna do the same thing? Are we gonna be more responsible? And definitely there will be no parties. That is a fact. It was approved by si Mayor Zamora, kasama namin yan, kami lahat ng Metro Manila mayors, unanimous yan at kasama ang IATF at DILG. Walang party-party, walang tugs, no? But there is one more issue. The household activities. Paano mag-i-interact yung, siyempre alam mo naman tayo, Juliet, mahal natin ang mga mahal natin sa buhay, nanay at lola, lolo't tatay. How are we gonna greet them? How are we gonna interact with them during the holidays? So that is, let me take this opportunity na, naku, mag-iingat kayo ha. Lalo na yung mga bata. Kasi, ito ngayon ang data, no? Marami ngayon, Juliet, ang infection nasa bata. Not really bata, but mga 15 hanggang 29, no? Some of them are working, some of them are just playing outside, but they survived, no? Most of them survived. The problem is, pagsok pa nila sa oblo, yun, doon na nadidisgrasya si lolo't lola, si nanay tatay. Kaya yan, is as a gentle reminder to really wear your mask as much as possible, and when time for dinner or anong tawag natin, Noche Buena, as much as possible you create space, a space, di ba, sa lamesa magkakatapat, no? Hanggat ma-alternate. There are things that we need to do as individual, and that is a must this coming holiday season.
Okay, Mayor. Thank you for the reminders. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. So now for another question, maybe we would like you to share the most significant steps you have taken to turn around the conditions in your own cities. Maybe what are the steps that you are most proud of, having done during this pandemic? So Mayor Francis, you've had targeted testing, and you've had lots of provisions of Wi-Fi, laptops, tablets for teachers and students, and you also had partnerships with a partnership with the DICT. Would you like to tell us about what among those steps you were most proud of? Go ahead, Mayor Francis.
Yes, Juliet, do you mind if I present our best practices? The items you mentioned are part of this already, but there are also some best practices which I want to share.
Okay. Highlights of your best practices, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. So as of December 8th, actually, we're down to 46 cases with 3,297 recoveries and 96 deaths. So you will see that we have barangays that actually have 0 cases as of yesterday, and we will be implementing through a local ordinance an incentive program wherein each barangay that will have 30 days straight of 0 active cases will get a cash reward. So medyo pinattern din namin to sa Manila sapagkat nakita natin yung ginawa ni Yorme. At ang maganda naman sa amin sa Metro Manila mayors, na pag merong magandang ginagawa yung ibang mayor, open naman sila na i-replicate sa iba't ibang cities. So hindi nagdadamutan in terms of ideas. In fact, nagtutulungan. So itong ginawa ni Yorme Isko sa Manila, naging inspiration namin dito to give incentives pag mag-zero. So tinatarget na yun ngayon ng mga barangays, and it will be officially passed as an ordinance. Next, please. So ito yung pie chart po natin as of December 8. So you will see that 2% ang active cases, 3% deaths, and 95% ang recoveries natin, which is very high. Next, please. Okay, dito naman sa ating mass testing, mula nung simula Ang ginagamit namin talaga ay RT-PCR test lang. We never relied on other tests, lalo na yung rapid test kasi na-experience namin nung simula when there were some companies offering mga rapid tests. Merong instances na tatlong tests, tatlong separate different results, no? So at the end of the day, babalik ka rin sa PCR test. So we maintained the use of PCR tests. In fact, we procured our own machine. Tapos meron pa tayo from Red Cross, meron pa tayo from DOH hospitals. So yung testing natin is not mass testing per se. No? It's mass targeted testing. Ibig sabihin, yung through our contact tracing, pinipili natin sino ba ang pinaka merong highest probability na infect. At unang-una dyan, syempre, yung close contacts ng mga nag-positive. So we have a scientific approach in terms of whom we test through the contact tracing data. Inuuna natin sila. Ang ginawa rin nga natin, no, para ma-incentivize yung ating contact tracing, nag-lunsad tayo ng 3,000 pesos cash incentive para sa mga nagpa-positive na nagka-quarantine sa ating facilities because oftentimes no, natatakot silang aminin na positive sila. In fact, tinatago nila ito because ayaw nila matanggal sa trabaho, ayaw nilang ma-discriminate sa community. But ang resulta nun, meron pala mga positive na hindi natin nalalaman. So when we incentivize this, mas lumalabas sila because hindi sila nag-aalala sa pamilya nila. May paunting panggastos ang kanilang pamilya habang naka-quarantine sila. And yung quarantine facilities that they stay in, may libreng pagkain, libreng gamot, no? May doctors, nurses, may libreng wifi pa yan. So ito, sample ito ng aming testing facility. It's in our San Juan Gym, one of our biggest facilities in the city. And we have a total of 7 to 8 LG swabbers and 10 to 15 from the national government. And then meron tayong encoders din. So meron tayong schedule na Monday, Wednesday, Friday sa ating mass testing. And then Tuesdays, Thursdays sa community naman. So on the average, between 400 to 700 a day ang aming tinatest. Just for everyone to have an idea, ang population ng San Juan based on the 2015 census ay 122,000. So I would assume now 2020, we would be probably around 140 to 150,000. Next please, Brian. So meron tayong Kalinga Center. In fact, ito yung isa sa mga unang naging government and private partnership in terms of quarantine facilities. So kami nagpapasalamat sa Xavier School at sa lahat ng alumni nito sapagkat ang mga mag-aaral at mga alumni ng Xavier ang nagkalap ng pondo upang malunsad natin itong Kalinga Center. It's actually a 4-story public school building. Ito yung San Juan Science High School namin na dapat itong school year nito namin ilo-launch. Ngunit ito nagkaroon na ng COVID noong Marso, minabuti nating i-convert agad ito. At it has since been turned over to the LG already. So 2 months ago, yung Xavier already formally turned over the daily operations to us at nagpapasalamat kami sa kanilang tulong. Isa sa mga naranasan naming problema yung DepEd schools nung una hindi pinapayagan maging quarantine facilities. So through our Metro Manila Council meetings and the IATF, eventually pinayagan naman ito. So nagagamit namin ngayon yung mga DepEd facilities natin as quarantine facilities, lalo na't wala pa naman tayong face-to-face schooling ngayon. Next please. Our San Juan Medical Center, it's our one and only public hospital dito sa San Juan. So nag-set up po tayo ng COVID wards, COVID isolation rooms, pati container vans dito sa labas. Yung container vans natin, may mga kama yan, may mga aircon. This is meant to augment yung facilities natin inside the hospital. So right now, talaga mababa na ang bilang ng COVID cases. So wala ring masyadong pasyente ng COVID sa hospital ngayon. Next please. Okay, ito yung sample layout ng ating isolation rooms. Juliet, for the information of everyone, yung nakarang administrasyon kasi, the former mayor and her administration, they were not able to complete the renovation and reconstruction ng hospital. So nung nangyari itong COVID, We had to rush double time dahil yung building na hindi nila natapos no, nung pagbaba ng kanilang administrasyon, we had to relay out this building in order to serve as our COVID facility. So nagawa naman natin to agad-agad. We have a very good medical director, si Dr. General Acosta, dating Surgeon General ng AFP. So yung experience in terms of handling government hospitals is very vast. Next, please. Okay, ito, sample pa rin ng breakdown natin. No? We make sure na hindi nagkakahawa-hawa yung mga COVID patients vis-a-vis yung ibang mga pasyente natin, lalo na yung mga health workers at frontliners. Next, please. Ito yung sample ng container vans natin. Tinulungan ho tayo ng EEI Corporation, of course, owned by the Yuchenko family. So, malaking bagay ito. Itong nakikita nyo is just one of many within the complex of our hospital. Next, please. So, ito, yun yung ating entry point ng hospital kung kinakailangan ka magpa-confine due to COVID. Next, please. Okay, so meron tayong nagbigay rin tayo ng incentives for all our medical frontliners. It's 5,000 pesos cash incentive and 3,000 pesos naman for non-medical frontliners. This is on top of their salaries and allowances. Kung naalala ninyo, there was a time na humingi ng time out muna yung mga frontliners natin. And we thought of these incentives to further motivate them kasi alam naman natin araw-araw talagang COVID na lang ang hinaharap. No? So yung mga maliliit na bagay to further motivate them, further encourage them to keep on going na ginagawa natin. So such as free Wi-Fi sa hospital, libreng pagkain, libreng mga bicycles. In fact, yung paaralan katabi ng hospital, ginawa naming living quarters ng medical frontliners. So they can opt not to go home anymore. Meron silang kanya-kanyang mga lugar doon kung saan sila pwede matulog, kumain at magpahinga. Next, please. Okay, ito again, yung quarantine facilities nga natin. No? Next, please. Very effective din yung localized lockdowns natin, Juliet. In fact, yung first localized lockdown namin was the Agora Market. Nung nalaman namin na merong isang nag-positive na vendor, I had to shut down the entire market immediately. And all vendors working close to around 600, pina-swab test natin lahat yan. And we found out that 27 of them were positive. So buti na lang na napasara natin agad. Dahil alam naman natin sa palengke, isa yan sa mga, hotspots no, ng hawaan. Yes, so what we did was we shut it down. We isolated the 27. We treated them. And it was the perfect timing also na kinausap na rin natin ang nagpapatakbo ng palengke, pati ng local government officials natin. Sapagkat during this lockdown ng palengke, dito na rin namin nilunsad yung renovation ng aming market to make it more COVID adaptable. So sinisimula na ito ngayon. We are modernizing our one and only public market. And by May next year, ilo-launch na siya or inaugurate na. So ginawa natin to in 6 phases. Each phase na currently nagre-renovate, inakyat muna natin dito sa plaza, just right across para tuloy-tuloy din ang kabuhayan nila para hindi sila tamaan. Talking about the palengke also, nagpatupad din tayo ng ating palengke on wheels nung kasagsagan ng ECQ, wherein sinubsidize ko po personally, ito yung kumbaga personal na tulong ko sa community, sinubsidize ko yung kalahati ng presyo ng binibili ng ating mga mamamayan. Sapagkat yung mga lehitimong manininda sa palengke, syempre namomroblema sila sapagkat walang pupunta ng palengke. Takot lahat nung kasagsagan ng ECQ. So we set up palengke on wheels that went to all our barangays on a schedule. And 50% of the actual cost, kino-cover ko na yan personally. Kaya discounted po yung binibiling produkto, no? Yung mga karne, yung gulay, manok. very discounted. Meron din tayong free cremation at urn package up to 30,000 pesos. Covered po yan ng local government, wala silang kailangan bayaran. Dati kasi direct cremation dapat, no? Lalo na kung COVID case. Right now, medyo pinapayagan na ang normal na burol. So ganun din, whether you choose cremation or burol, meron up to 30,000 pesos po na libreng cremation o libreng funeral service. Next please. So ito ho, isa sa mga pinagmamalaki po namin sa San Juan. Naka 14 waves ho kami ng ayuda o yung food packs distribution, and you will see the breakdown of all our 14 waves. In fact, we are now preparing for our 15th wave, which is our Christmas pamaskong handog na rin po sa ating mga mamamayan. At kung makikita ho ninyo, kami mismong pupunta sa bawat barangay. Hindi ho namin sila pinapapunta sa City Hall sapagkat that will just cause massive lines. So ang ginagawa ho namin, I personally go around all the barangays at namamahagi ho kami nito. Since 14 times na ho namin ito ginawa, kabisado na ho namin kung ilan ang pamilya sa kada household. In fact, ito nakikita nyo, merong mga monoblock na nasa labas. Yung mga quarantine pass nila nakalapag doon. So bilang na namin, tansyado na namin. So yung 15th wave will start next week. Ito ho yung Christmas ayuda ho natin sa mga mamamayan natin. Next please. Tayo po ay meron ding libreng binhi sa tulong ng Department of Agriculture. This is to encourage urban gardening for food security. Ngayon, yung mga mamamayan natin sa San Juan na gusto magtanim ng mga gulay na pwede nilang makain, no? They get free seedlings from our Senro, yung City Environment and Natural Resources Office ho natin, of course through the DA. So ito po si Secretary Dar, dumalaw po dito sa San Juan para ho sa turnover nito. Next please. Ito po, instructional video kung paano mag-urban gardening. So I'm a very hands-on mayor by nature. So ako mismo ang nagtuturo para gayahin ng ating mga mamamayan. So meron kaming mga instructional videos on how to do that. Next please. Punta naman ho tayo sa pagbibisikleta. I'm proud to say that San Juan was awarded as a gold awardee ng Mobility Awards for being one of the bike-friendliest cities in Metro Manila. And in line with that, nag-set up ho tayo ng mga bollards at ng mga bike lanes all over the city. May mga bicycle ordinances po tayo to keep everyone safe, lalo na yung mga nagbibisikleta. Alam ho ninyo, no, itong biking revolution, as I call it, this was brought about by the pandemic dahil nung kasagsagan nga uli ng ECQ, talagang limitado. In fact, there was a time na zero public transport ang umaandar. So people had to either walk or take a bike. So I was telling people, no, eventually no, nagkaroon na ng kaunti-unti, nagkaroon na ng mga tricycle, nung pinayagan na siya muli. Sabi ko, yung araw-araw na ginagastos ninyo para sa pamasahe, kung ipunin nyo na lang yan at ibili ng bisikleta, sa inyo na yung bisikleta, you can buy a bicycle for as low as 3,000 pesos. And that's just 100 a day savings if you will not spend it on commuting. So you can actually invest in a bike which you can use every day. It keeps you healthy. Okay? It's an exercise. Wala kang problema sa social distancing at open air siya. So wala ka rin problema na mahawa ka. And we wanted to make San Juan very bike-friendly. So ito po, maraming nagdo-donate din sa amin ng mga bisikleta. We prioritize our frontliners sa San Juan Medical Center. May mga nag-donate din po ng bisikleta para sa ating pulis. Ito po yung police bike patrol natin. Isa to sa mga masasabi kong innovations na nakatulong sa pagbaba ng COVID-19 cases. Sapagkat, well, one, I bike around with them every day. At umiikot kami sa lahat ng barangay without notice. Walang pasabi yan. So bigla na lang kaming liliko sa maliliit na kalye, nagugulat yung mga tao at nanguhuli ng mga hindi nakamask. Kasi alam nila yung mobile ng pulis hanggang main road lang eh. Dahil yung iba maliliit na kalye. Ngayon, dahil meron tayong police bike patrol, nag-apprehend ho tayo ng mga violators ng COVID-19 ordinances. So mas maingat ngayon yung mga tao, mas nagmamask na sila, mas nag-face shield because alam nila at any point baka biglang dumating yung bike patrollers natin. So naka-body camera din ho sila. Bakit naka-body camera? Sapagkat marami sa mga naranasan namin pagkakataon, siyempre, i-deny nila, sasabihin, umiinom na kami ng tubig kaya wala akong mask. No? Sumusubo na ako ng merienda, kanya-kanyang palusot. So instructions po natin, take a video or take photos before apprehension para walang room for interpretation. Dito po sa lower left lower center ng image, makikita ho ninyo yung dedicated bike and motorcycle lane and vehicle lanes natin sa Ortigas Avenue. So, meron kasing 3 lanes po ang Ortigas Avenue. And when we put a bike lane on the rightmost, ang nangyari, syempre, yung third lane na yon hindi nakasya yung kotse. So, para hindi masayang yung third lane, ang ginawa ho natin, 1/3 of the third lane ay pang bisikleta at electronic scooter and 2/3 of the third lane naman dedicated pang motorsiklo. Para yung first 2 lanes naman dedicated para sa kotse, and you will notice that they all travel in a linear direction, parallel to each other, para hindi nag-aagawan at nagsisingitan yung motor, yung kotse at yung bisikleta. So this has helped us in terms of our traffic flow at with the coordination of MMDA also, mas naayos natin yung daloy ng trapiko. At the same time, and more importantly, yung safety ng lahat, no? Both the safety of the bikers, the motorists na nakamotor, pati yung mga motoristang nakasasakyan. Next, please. Ito po, yung meron naman tayong bike sharing program para sa ating City Hall employees. Wherein we procured 105 bikes na pwedeng hiramin ng ating mga empleyado sa City Hall para huyang library card. No? Kapag humiram ka ng libro sa library, alam kung sino humiram, alam kung anong libro ang hiniram mo, at isusoli mo yan. Ito, after 1 week of you using it, you return it. Now, kung nakita ho natin na mataas ang pagtangkilik ng mga empleyado dito, by next year, we can add more. So parang testing muna to kung gaano kalakas ang pagtangkilik ng mga empleyado natin. So each bike has a serial number para alam natin kung sino yung huling gumamit nito. Para in case merong damage, we would know kung sino yung hindi nag-ingat sa pagbibisikleta. And again, I'm proud to say that here in San Juan, we launched the first solar-powered bike pit stop in the Philippines. That was just around 2 weeks ago. Kami po ay napili ng Allianz, PNB, a German insurance company, to be the site of the first solar-powered bike pit stop. So meron siyang solar panels, yung kuryente niya ay lahat yan solar-powered. Merong ilaw pagdating ng 5 p.m. Kada hapon, pag padilim na, nag-on yan mag-isa. At meron tayong air compressor, merong pump, merong bike service area, merong tools, may rest area, at may bike rack siya. So yung security guard assigned dyan, tinuruan na rin namin siya na maging bike maintenance para 2-in-1 ho yung trabaho niya para at any time na merong kailangan ng tulong, yung security guard marunong na rin. Next, please. Ito po, sinama namin to sa aming e-awards, no? Yung SAP natin, distribution na tayo po ay nakipag-ugnayan mismo sa Robinsons Bank to set up 4 ATMs here at the San Juan Philoil Flying V Center. Alam naman natin yung SAP talagang medyo challenging ho yan, lalo na't libo-libo ang beneficiary. So we had to think of a way to distribute the SAP to thousands of people without necessarily violating social distancing protocols. So ito yung ginawa namin at naging successful po. Tapos na ho ang releasing namin ng SAP dito except for those na lang na pending pa ho ang verification from the DSWD. Okay.
Mayor, with your indulgence, so we have a lot of really very good best practices from San Juan. Maybe you can share others later. We just need to look after the time. But before we take a break, of course, we'll Thank you, Mayor Francis. Really very systematic and very effective steps you've taken in San Juan, and I'm sure there are many more. I've seen your presentation. There's quite a lot more. So, but we'll head first to Manila for Mayor Isko. You've had hard lockdowns in Sampaloc earlier, and then maybe your Divisoria is quite a problem, and then you had a very successful drive-through program. Can you drive-through testing? So could you share with us your best practices in Manila, Mayor Isko?
Well, thank you, Juliet. No, one thing for sure, no, yung Divisoria as a whole, no, continues to be clear of obstruction from Asuncion Recto up to Abad Santos, Juan Luna, and Soler, yung kung saan dumadaan ang mga sakyan. But as we all know also, at the same time, those perpendicular roads, doon natin nilagay yung iba nating inalis na mga vendor sa Recto. At ang Divisoria talaga, as a whole, as a Divisoria, is a common knowledge that it is a wholesale and dealership area. Kaya yun ang isang challenge talaga namin na Juliet. In fact, during the ECQ, isa sa mga gray line na ang tagal namin dinesisyonan. It took us about 2 days to decide on it, whether are we going to close the night market with regard to products produced by farmers and locking down the port, no? Isa sa mga kondisyon kasi pumapasok labas-pasok ang tao sa Maynila. But sabi ko nga, we cannot leave an island. We have to be sensitive with our neighbors, because if we shut down the port and shut down the market, which other cities did, no, yung kanilang bagsakan ng gulay, magmamahal ang presyo ng gulay, isda at manok, at saka yung mga imported products or raw materials. So because of that, yun pinito ko sa kanina, 1314 yung aming infection. But anyway, those are water under the bridge, no? And one way or another, modestly aside, with the help of my colleagues here in the city government, we were very successful to manage that. And we will continue to manage these holidays, no? At lagi lang ako magpapaalala kasi gusto ko maghanap buhay yung Utaw eh. Gusto ko based on our Code M, which is a modified plan, no? Code M is contained and delayed. That is our basic plan that we can share to you. I am grateful to British government. Last February, I was sent to London and to meet with the Corona British Response Agency. At ang na-share sa akin yung kanilang COVID plan, which is a code plan. No? At immediately upon arrival, we adapted to it. Tapos medyo meron lang kaming tinwik, no? Na konti bagay sa ating tradisyon at kustumbre, at saka weather condition. No? Kasi pati doon kasi sa kanila, pati weather condition and season are being assessed. And upon arrival, modesty aside, I think it is the city of Manila, even in the absence of the infection, came up with an infectious disease control center. First local government unit who adapted into possible surge of infection the way we know it in other countries, especially in our neighboring countries here in Asia, no? So naitatag namin yon yung Manila Infectious Disease Control Center sa Santa Ana Hospital. That is a very, I think that is the key, no? Adapting to code program plan ng City of Manila about coronavirus, contain and delay. So after that, immediately we reinforce it our medical facility was reinforced by an additional facility, which is what we call quarantine facility. Yun nauna dyan, yung Delpan. And modesty aside, with regard to this topic, Manila, with 6 hospitals, went beyond the minimum requirements of DOH, which requires 30% of bed capacity in hospital. But we are now 32% bed capacity or bed load capacity, COVID bed load capacity in our hospital. We build 15 quarantine facilities. As we progress, we compartmentalize our quarantine facilities, which is very important, very, very important. And if I may share it to our listeners and in the Parplang area or those municipalities who are watching, maybe they don't have not yet na may COVID sila, pero ito yung isang mahalagang learning process, no? Quarantine facilities, nag-innovate yan. Una, quarantine facilities awaiting for result. So these are probable and suspected, no? Sumunod, nag-design kami ng quarantine facilities for positive patient, no? But asymptomatic. Then nag-evolve ulit. Nag-compartmentalize naman din kami ng quarantine facilities positive with precondition. Like yung dialysis, nagda-dialysis sa tao. Meron din kami noon para sa kanila lang. Tapos, sumunod, nagkaroon kami ng quarantine facilities for pregnant women. Tapos, nagkaroon din ng quarantine facilities for lactating mother, bagong panganak, na positive yung mother, yung baby negative, hiniwalay kagad namin with the direction of our MHD, no? Para mapangalagaan kagad yung sanggol at mapadede ng yung may nakukuha kaming gatas ng ina sa ibang tao no? Pero yung mother was contained in our quarantine facilities. So as we speak, ang good news, nung araw, sa nagkukwentuhan kami nung mga isang linggo na nakakaraan, sabi ko, alam mo, ngayon naging good news na may ginawa ang gobyerno pero hindi na nagagamit. Sabi ko, for the meantime, that is good news. Kasi 7 of our quarantine facilities wala kaming kliyente, which is the way I understand, it's a good sign. No? And we had about 24% with our occupancy in our hospital. We have about 291 COVID bed capacity in our hospital and almost 600 COVID bed capacity with our quarantine, all combined. And we only have about 36% with those quarantine facility. So yun yung tingin kong isang lesson na pwedeng ma-share of all other programs. Ang dami namin ginawang batas, ayuda, and all other things. But these are what we call the seasoning. No, yung pampasarap, no? But we really try to focus on issues that matters. How are we going to contain a person as soon as possible? And the only way to confirm it, which I think everybody agrees, is to do an official gold standard of testing. While we in the city of Manila came up with serology testing, because this is a laboratory testing. It gave us 99.6 specificity and 100% sensitivity. And that is technical and scientifically proven. But we did not stop there. No? It was made available to everyone. Lahat pwede pumunta sa Maynila magpa-test libre. But those Manilans who will turn positive on the serology, which we are utilizing as our zero prevalence or zero surveillance, where we can see the heat map of the infection, of possible infection. Then we approach. Kaya nakikita mo, nag-ano kami, mass swab testing on a particular community. Yun ang reason, when we act on something, when we do something, there is already a data that proves the action, that proves that there is a need to act on the matter. Kasi utilization of resources ito, no, Juliet, medyo, alam mo naman yan, I think si Mayor Zamora will agree. Lahat tong pondo namin for 2020 was not designed to address a pandemic. So it was redesigned. And I would like to take this opportunity to be grateful to, I'm grateful to Vice Mayor Hani Lacuna and the members of the City Council, because I think sa buong buhay ko sa paggogobyerno sa lungsod ng Maynila, ngayon lang ako nakakita na ang isang lokal na pamahalaan, siguro ang naipasang ordinansa namin, more than 50 in a matter of 10 months. These are rearrangement, realigned, and so on and so forth. So going back, we still focus on our plan. How are we going to contain? How are we going to delay the growth now? On the last quarter of this year, which is now, we are now in a few days of the fourth quarter. The third quarter, I've been seeing some news by Inquirer and all other newspaper that there is what you call contraction of economy, no? Napansin ko, tapos may survey, yung I think, I hope I'm correct, no? Yung SWS, may nakita ko na provision, may nakita ko doon na may 9% yata yun. But just correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a data that there is what you call involuntary hunger. So there is involuntary hunger, there is contraction na maapektuhan yung ating growth, ekonomiya, sabi ko, then what are we going to do? Then we came up with an amendment to our plan, Code M. No? Code M stands for the same, contain and delay the COVID. M stands for mitigate the socio-economic impact of the COVID-19 to our community. So, underneath that mitigation process or mitigation plan, paano namin masusustain yung negosyo if they are still existing? How can we help them survive so that we can continue to protect whatever is left? And at the same manner, to provide more opportunities to every families with regard to their family members who can still continue to do their job or employment. No? Ito yung pinakamalaking challenge ngayon, Juliet. We've learned so much with COVID-19. Our doctors were sobrang galing. I think it goes to everybody. They learn so fast. That's why, as you can see, even in the national data, there is high rate of surviving. But there is death. Death is death. Every life is valuable. But there is no playbook about this pandemic. But what matters most is the data that our frontliners, medical frontliners, are doing their job and learning fast. Now, another policy should be attended is yung iniisip na namin, paano namin matutulungan ng utaw na makatawid dahil maapektuhan pa eh. At ako, nararamdaman ko, I am no economist, Juliet. Alam mo, minsan yung gut feel mo, yung dahil galing ka sa lupa, alam mo na yung tama ng pag nawalan ka ng trabaho, wala kang kita, psychological, emotional, economical. This affects a person and a family. And that's we've been addressing for so many, not so many months, about 2 months now, coming 3 months. And in the next quarter, now, alongside in between, while attending to Code Plan and M Plan, alongside in between, we continue to engage international pharmaceutical company, modesty aside, in our own little way as local government unit, kahit na anong mangyari, Juliet, if you're Manilans, at least I can honestly assure you, halimbawa, Juliet, no? Huwag naman loobin ng Diyos, hindi tayo naligtas ng COVID because walang pinipili ito. Pero I guarantee you, Juliet, your son, your daughters will have an access to vaccine because your city government already appropriated, earmarked, and deposited the literal cash sa bangko to acquire a future and hopefully soon vaccine. The logic behind is to assure our people that there will be may tao pa sa susunod na henerasyon. Even though hindi namin alam kung kami sa pamahalaan ay magiging ligtas sapagkat maraming infection mismo. Dito mismo, ito, kung saan ito nangyayari itong interview mo. Dito mismo sa loob ng kwartong to, ilang infection na nangyari rito, katabi ko. But, you know, sa awa ng Diyos, salamat sa Diyos, ligtas tayo. But, as a matter of assurance and a guarantee that life will go on even in our absence, we secure the future of the next generation by having a capacity to acquire such vaccine. And sa totoo lang, Julia, tumutulo laway ko ngayon. Kahapon pa tumutulo laway ko, i-share ko lang sa iyo. Habang pinapanood ko yung balita sa Inglaterra na sila ay nagtutusok-tusok na. Sa totoo lang, kasi kausap ko yung AstraZeneca, kausap ko yung Pfizer for so many months now. And naano lang ako ba na sana nga talagang magkaroon tayo ng opportunity ASAP. Kasi ang understanding ko dyan, although I am no specialist, I am no scientist, no? Yung BioNTech is a company. I think it's a, correct me if I'm wrong, Juliet. BioNTech is from Germany and Pfizer is from America. BioNTech as scientist, Pfizer as scientist, nagkausap sila, nag-agree sila sa isang product, both scientists, then it was being passed through the process, it passed through phase 3, and now certified by a Ministry of Health in British, in London, no? At tinutusok na nila sa tao. And they have also scientists. So ako nangihinayang ako, Juliet, kasi ganito yon. Tingnan mo, Juliet, 681. Malaking pagpapasalamat ko sa Diyos for the past 4 days, 0 death ako. But on a regular, 1, 2, ilang pang luluhang pamilya na pwede naman nating maiwasan. Kaya yun yung sinasabi ko sa iyo, Juliet, na yun ang matter of assurance, to supplant the national government's effort to acquire the vaccine, the City of Manila will augment portion of it. Makatulong man lang kami sa national government. And I hope our respective agencies who are tasked to acquire that vaccine should act swiftly. Because that is also a directive coming from the President. No? They should act swiftly. Ngayon, yun, may mga scientists din naman yun, di ba? In fact, 100 years na sila nagdi-discover ng mga gamot. So, ako kasi ang paniwala ko yung value ng buhay. Kasi yung ekonomiya, yung pera na wala, babawi natin yan. Pero yung buhay, pag nawala na, wala na yan. Malungkot na bahagi yan. So, code, tapos papunta kami ngayon sa how can we give opportunity, how can we tolerate and manage the risk, what is tolerable, and what can be managed, and up to what level of risk that we can tolerate based on our capacity to be ahead of the numbers in terms of kakayanan. against sa infection. So nandito na kami sa panahon ngayon, Juliet, just to share to our viewers, buhay at kabuhayan. So yan ang buong konsepto na ang aming approach sa COVID-19. And let me take this again. Sayang opportunity. Thank you for the people of Manila. Thank you very much sa mga mamamayan namin na although may ilang tulongges, may ilang pa ring mga gasmati ang ulo, pero generally, they are really complying and they know already, adapted already to the new normal and wearing proper gear to keep themselves safe. Yun lang.
Thank you, Mayor. Really very inspiring story and good leadership. I'm sure your constituents really appreciate that you're their mayor at this time. What a time to be a mayor. So we have a few minutes left.
Gusto ko sinabi mo, what a time to be a mayor.
Yes.
I think it goes to every mayor. Whether anong edad, anong
Mayor
karanasan.
Francis.
Kaliro kami lahat dito, I think. Mayor Francis will agree with this. Wala talaga, Juliet. It's a fluid situation, but history will teach us. No, history will teach us. In a battle, in a war, stagnation you will be killed in the middle of the battlefield. But movement will give you high probability of survival. You're learning from those books and histories and other reference. Yun lang, adaptation, puro adapt. Kopya-kopya ba, Juliet? Pero totoo yung sinabi mo kanina. Walang mayor dito, walang presidente dito. Ang hirap talaga ng sitwasyon.
Yes, and really these pandemic mayors, we really appreciated the importance of electing the right LGUs, right? So sometimes we're comparing what ayuda from my city to your city. So really, it's your time to shine. The local officials like mayors, you had a time to keep our break because we only have a few minutes. So I'll go into a very important question. We'll go back to Mayor Francis. Maybe at least, I think your residents would want to know what to look forward to in 2021, which is like in a few weeks. We're all looking forward to the end of 2020, and we're hoping for a kinder 2021. Mayor Francis, what would be your focus for starting this January after we celebrate these holidays? And what can the residents of San Juan look forward to?
Yes, Juliet, isa sa mga challenges natin ngayon, which is brought about by the pandemic, yung distance learning. Alam naman natin, online classes po ngayon yung mga mag-aaral natin. And I'm happy to share to everyone na yung ating pong programa with DICT ay magkakaroon na ng full rollout by January. Ano ho ito? Actually, San Juan was chosen as the pilot city for DICT's Free Wi-Fi for All program. Ito po ay nangyari pre-pandemic. So hindi po ito konektado anuman sa COVID-19. Kami po ay pumirma ng kasunduan ni Secretary Onasan, DICT Secretary natin, para maging smart city po ang lungsod ng San Juan. And part of this is the provision of gadgets, specifically 13,000 tablets and 1,000 laptops for all our San Juanenyo public school students. So ang lahat po ng San Juanenyo public school students studying in San Juan public schools, living in San Juan, they will all get tablets. So from kinder hanggang grade 12 yan. Pero ang pinaglabanan ng elementary school, sila naman po ay a pilot school ng DICT para naman sa digital learning. Sila naman po ay lahat tatanggap ng laptops. Actually, grade 3 to 6, ng pinaglabanan ng elementary school at meron silang free pocket Wi-Fi. At ang sunod na tanong, Mayor, paano ho yan? May gadget na kami. Wala naman kaming internet. So, yung aming local school board po, kumuha kami ng pondo sa local school board para pondohan po yung fiber optic internet connection, which is ongoing na po. Alam na mga public school students natin yan. Isa-isang kinakabitan na ho ng mga modem yung mga tahanan nila. So all households of public school students kakabitan po ng ng fiber optic internet connection. But let me clarify na yung fiber optic internet connection natin, this is for online education. So hindi ito para sa Netflix, hindi ito para sa streaming ng mga pelikula o ano bang mga social media activities. This is specifically for distance learning at meron tayong tinatawag na LMS o yung Learning Module System. It's an app na dito manggagaling yung pagtuturo ng public school teachers natin going towards each household na meron hong modem. So we are connecting close to 8,000 modems, no, to 8,000 households for 13,000 public school students. Bakit 13,000 ng public school students? Yung iba 8,000 lang, tas 8,000 ng bahay. Because yung iba ho, magkakapatid. So pag magkakapatid, they will now share from the internet connection. So that is something that our public school students in San Juan can look forward to. And next, nag-allocate po tayo ng 50 million pesos through our city council para po for the procurement of vaccines. Gaya ng binanggit ni Yorme Isko kanina, kaming lahat ng mga mayor nag-aabang na po talaga. Ito yung pinag-uusapan namin tuwing meron kaming IATF meeting. Eventually, paglabas ng ating vaccines. So kung ano man ang magiging final decision ng national government sa vaccines, we have allocated 50 million pesos for San Juan para augment kung kinakailangan yung pondo ng national government. So hindi tayo purely umaasa lang sa national government because we also do not know the system yet, no? Because tandaan nyo, 100 plus million tayong Pilipino. At least may nakaabang tayong 50 million pesos locally through our funds just in case we have to spend for the vaccine. So 2021, we hope and pray that it will be a lot better. Alam niyo dito sa San Juan, bago ng March 6 was the confirmation of the first local transmission ng COVID sa Pilipinas. Ito hong isang Pilipino taga ibang bayan, no, not from San Juan, na madalas pumupunta sa ating prayer hall dito sa Green Hills Shopping Center. Siya ang first confirmed local transmission in the Philippines. So it has been a challenge for San Juan. 4 days before that, nagkaroon kami ng hostage-taking crisis dito sa Green Hills din. So sunod-sunod po ang aming mga challenges nitong 2020. So we're looking forward for a better 2021.
Thank you, Mayor Francis. Just a quick follow-up. So 50 million, you said 50 million for vaccine. Are you going to buy on your own, or are you going to just like get a slot from the national government's purchase of vaccines?
Mas maganda ho through the national government because yung presyo mas mahihila nyo dahil bulk procurement, no? Itong 50 million na to, nakaabang lang ho yan just in case. No? It's an emergency standby fund. If and when magkaroon ng problema in terms of funding, at least may nakaabang ho kaming 50 million pesos. At ako'y nagpapasalamat sa mga konsihal natin na bumoto rito at kay Vice Mayor Warren Villa sapagkat merong mga konsihal who voted against it. Can you believe that? May mga bumoto against funding the vaccines for San Juan. But then again, I'm thankful to all those who voted for it. Malaking tulong to sa bawat San Juanenyo.
So, Mayor, would you have your own priorities for distribution of the vaccine in case it comes now? Like the national government has its own priorities. Would you have your own plan for San Juan?
Susunod lang po tayo sa prioritization
in terms of access.
Yes, we will follow the prioritization
of
the national government. Yes.
Okay. My last follow-up for you is
yes, please.
Green Hills is the ground zero for COVID-19 in the Philippines. How is it, Mayor, now? Are they back on their feet in terms of the businesses in Green Hills?
Admittedly, talagang nagkaroon ng stigma ang lahat sa Green Hills. No? Like what I mentioned, March 2, hostage-taking crisis. March 6, first local transmission in the Philippines. Both in Green Hills, both exactly in the same area. So talagang ang laki ng economic effect ho nito sa atin. Ngunit ano ho bang ginagawa natin? I personally go and inspect go to and inspect Green Hills Shopping Center because I want everyone to see and feel that it is safe for our shoppers to visit. Ako po, mula nung nagsimula nga itong COVID, naalala nyo, shutdown lahat ng mall. Pero as the ECQ shifted to MECQ noong July, nagbukas na ho ang ating mga negosyo, including the shopping center. We required them to submit return to work plans and certificates of compliance. So hindi ibig sabihin pwede lahat magbukas basta-basta. Medyo may proseso, each stall, each restaurant, each tindahan, ano man ang negosyo niya sa Green Hills, or everywhere in San Juan, they have to submit the return to work plans to be approved by the Business Permits and Licensing Office and by our City Health Office. So alam namin yung pangalan ng bawat empleyado sa bawat tindahan, sila ay nagsisecure ng health pass at health clearance sa ating City Health Office. And before they are given the certificate of compliance, kailangan nakasaad doon, kunwari ano ang carrying capacity ng restaurant mo, ilang empleyado, dapat merong thermal scanning, may alcohol, may contact tracing, nasusunod yung social distancing. So from July up to December, no, tuloy-tuloy ho tayong nag-inspect dyan. The latest was just last week nung tayo po'y umikot uli sa Green Hills Shopping Center. So as mayor, I would like to assure everyone that Green Hills Shopping Center is safe and we are doing our very best to keep it safe for everyone.
Thank you, Mayor Francis. We go back to Mayor Isko for the last few minutes of our discussion. Mayor, I'm sure I know you're the first among the first LGUs to allocate 200 million. Was it right? So our reporter, Jody Agoncillo, has a question for Mayor Isko. How much are you allocating for the acquisition of vaccine? Is this more than 200 million? Can you explain it to us, Mayor Isko?
Okay. One, tama po kayo, no? Ma'am Juliet, at doon sa nagtatanong, about 3-4 months ago, may 200 million ang naisubi ang Maynila. Tapos itong incoming budget, nagdagdag pa ako ng consequent. So umabot na yan 250, no, na aming initial. Usually, modesty aside, no, meron akong tinatawag lagi na fallback plan, no, yung pagka nagka-leche-leche tayo, ano ba kasi ang daming uncertainty noong 2020, what have we learned? So, about 4 months now, medyo nag-aantabay kami lagi ng additional plan, no? Which is the worst case scenario. We are addressing the current scenario and the probability of having a worst scenario. So, halimbawa naman, no? Wag naman sanang loobin ng Diyos, talagang nagkaroon ng aberyahan ng gusto. In fact, may fallback pa kami, no, na about 1 billion that we can appropriate on top of the 250 million. Kasi, ang ginawa namin dyan, Ma'am Juliet, no, kinancel ko lahat yung mga infrastructure sa kalsada. Okay. Patawarin nyo na po ko, mga kababayan, nagpupunta sa Maynila, baka makaranas kayo ng konting lubak, konting, anong tawag dyan, parang moonwalk sa Maynila. Pagpasensya nyo na ako. Alam ko, matitiis nyo yung lubak, matitiis nyo yung kung ano man sa kalsada. As much as possible, we will maintain it. But, yun ang magbabayad ng, price we have to pay, no? Yung hindi tayo masyadong komportable. Kinancel ko lahat yun, halos. Generally, hanggat kaya ng cancelin sa batas kasi may requirements yan na kailangan pa rin namin gampanan, no? But the bulk of it were put into soft item. And soft items can be rearranged, changed, redirected through the help of, katulad ng binanggit ni Mayor Zamora kanina, through the help of the City Council. I, for one, because of our 18 years experience in local legislation, nakapaglagay tayo ng konting tweak doon na para may elbow room for future need. Because ang ginawa ko kasing approach, Juliet, nakiusap ako sa kanila, sabi ko, tao muna bago kalsada.
Yeah.
Diba? Mahirapan tayo ng konti sa kalsada, okay lang yan. Pero kung buhay ang tao, ligtas ang tao, makakapamuhay ng payapa. So yun yung isa naming maaari naming pagkunan pa. So yun ang maaari naming masabi sa ating mga kababayan sa lungsod. What are they going to expect in 2021? Second, we will continue to acquire modern equipment the way we did for the past months. For two clients. One, for our medical frontliners to keep them safe. Kaya meron kami yung PAPR. Ewan ko nilabas niyo yun sa Inquirer. Naka-PAPR yung aming mga doktor and nurses. And equipment for active cases or our patients in our hospital. That is a guarantee. If there is an existing and going to exist later on na makakatulong masurvive ang buhay ng tao, we will acquire. Third, what do you expect from us? We will continue to pursue discipline, implement things, yung basic rule ng IATF. And inihikayat ko po kayo, mga manonood, tulungan nyo kami ni Mayor Zamora na sumunod sa mga simpleng alituntunin na ito. No? Fourth, I think I'm more optimistic in terms of COVID-19 because there is less uncertainty about COVID-19. Ibig sabihin, let me put that in right perspective, marami na tayong alam about the virus itself, even our doctors. In fact, as we speak, there is already a vaccine to keep our people away from harm or being infected. Andiyan doon na, tinitira na sa Inglaterra eh. Nagkakatusukan na sila roon eh. Di ba? So there is already. So it's a matter of time for 2021. So there will be lesser uncertainty about the coronavirus. Because we know already how not to get infected, and we know already the effects of COVID-19 to a patient, and we know already that there is a vaccine. That is just a matter of time. What is uncertain is how to quantify the socio-economic impact to the people. Trabaho, hanap buhay, negosyo. Yun, we will work hand in hand with other agencies of the national government to get data, and this national data can be adapted. No? Katulad nung ginawa na may survey na may stunting, may malnourishment, may danger for pregnant women because of lesser access to other vitamins. It was addressed because of a data in Manila recently. Because that is the effect of coronavirus to the community. So, ganun na magiging mangyayari sa atin, no? Sa darating na mga araw at buwan, no? And umasa po kayo sa mga taga Maynila at even non-Manilans who will go in and out of the city. Our free mass swab testing will be continue to be free, accessible, and available. And it's free. Ulitin natin free. Kaya kung halimbawa may pangamba kayo, halimbawa medyo may infeksyon kayo, sa tingin nyo para kayong mayroong punta, kaso wala kayong tsapi, wala kayong kinakabahan kayo kung saan kayo magpapatest, welcome po kayo sa Manila. The logic behind it is we wanted to be inclusive in our plan. No? Because this is a universal problem. We cannot say, pabayaan ko si San Juan, pabayaan ako ni San Juan. Hindi. Tuloy lang ang pagitan namin, magkakatawiran na yung utaw namin eh. So pwede kong dumihan si San Juan ng impeksyon, pwede rin akong dumihan ni San Juan ng impeksyon. Either way, pag nagbuti si San Juan, nagbuti si Maynila, nagbuti si QC, lahat kami nagbuti-buti, so ang makikinabang utaw. So we really wanted to be inclusive as much as possible in all our programs. This is not about Manilans alone. It is the people. Because infections are brought by the people among each other. And it doesn't distinguish, hindi ka pwede ma-infeksyon kasi batang Maynila ka. Hindi ka ma-infeksyon kasi batang San Juan ka. Hindi. Kaya yun ang gusto namin approach. So, yun ang pwede ninyong asahan sa amin, sa mga darating pipilitin naming akapin hanggat kaya naming akapin. And I would like to congratulate Mayor Zamora na meron din silang yung tablet. No? Your city government, also in the city of Manila, came up with 139,000 tablets for our students and 299,000 SIM card, no? With 10 gigabytes of bandwidth every month with rollover courtesy of the city government, and 11,000 laptops for 10,300 teachers. So tama po yun. Adaptation, tama po yung ginawa ng San Juan. Kami po lahat, tama po yung sinabi ni Mayor Francis, no, if I may borrow that, na nag-sharean kami ng mga gawain, no, mga pwedeng kopyahin. So umasa kayo, in our case, in the city of Manila, kami po patuloy na magmamasid. At mag-a-adapt. We will not stop. I would rather fail by trying than fail by not trying at all. No, we will continue to move, and there will be movement, and pinakikisuyo ko lang, talagang makiisa lang po kayo. Wala po kaming hangarin na pahirapan ng sino man. Hindi yan paggugobyerno pag pinahirapan ng tao. Hindi yan paggugobyerno. Ang paggugobyerno, ginagawang maaliwalas, magaang ang pamumuhay ng tao. But in this case, kailangan natin ng sakripisyo. Ngayon, in return of all these things that we are asking, Mayor Zamora and I, and all other mayors, ako po, in our own little way, pipilitin po namin maging mainam, masinop, at epesyenteng paglingkuran kayo come New Year. We will continue. And please, uulitin ko, let's learn how to live with COVID-19 every day. But at the same time, or in the same manner, we can learn how to go back to work safely for the meantime. Kasi nandyan na sa kabilang kanto yung bakuna. Tuloy ang Pasko, and I wish you all the best. I know it's not going to be that happy. Yung, ano ba tawag? Tama ba yung ano ko? Mapasensya na kayo sa grammar ko. Happier Christmas. Hindi siya natin mararamdaman yun. Pero ang Pasko tuloy. Ang bagong taon tuloy. Ang tanong lang, abutan ka ba nun? Kaya kailangan malasakit tayo sa ating sarili, mag-ingat tayo sa ating sarili para na natin pinagmalasakitan yung mga mahal natin sa buhay. So, Merry Christmas to everyone. Enjoy the holiday. Enjoy, but at the same time, be responsible citizen for yourself, for everybody. At may awa ang Diyos. I believe, may awa ang Diyos. Makakaraos tayo. Mga kababayan.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a quick follow-up on the 1 billion. Is it for the vaccine? It can be allocated for the vaccine. And are you talking about, you said you were talking to AstraZeneca, to Pfizer. So would you be purchasing your own vaccine for Manila, or would you join the national government's slot for the
Okay,
vaccines?
the rule is as long as those companies, in this case, no, AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Moderna, Sinovac, Sinopharm, no, whoever they are, who got the EUA under Executive Order number 121 of the Presidential Executive Order, yung tinatawag na Emergency Use Authority. Yon. I hope I'm right, no? Yung pag meron na recognize, sinertify, no, na vaccine, ang FDA will continue to believe, and I hope they will do fast or they will move fast, no, those agencies, no, kung ano ang inacquire, kung ano ang inallow ng mga regulatory agencies natin with the guidance of DOH, no, ay yun din ang i-acquire natin on top of to supplant, no, yung effort ng national government. So, para kami makatulong man lamang sa maliit naming kaparaanan, no, na hindi na kami maging pabigat sa national government, that we in the local government unit in our own little way, pag pinagsama-sama effort namin, 1,630 plus municipalities and cities, if we are going to act in unison, I think we will achieve what our goal, which is what we call herd immunity. So, ang national government tumitirada, ang local government tumitirada. Then, ma-achieve natin, if the numbers is right, that if we are going to reach 60% of our population to be vaccinated, then we will achieve herd immunity. Then, so be it. Kaya, ang approach namin, kung anong gagawin. In fact, we are already ready for the implementation. Kalimbawa, may rule na, DOH, may inaccredit na ang FDA through EUA. At allowed na kami through Secretary Galvez as our vaccine SAR. Meron ng guidelines. Acquire na kami. Nakaready na po kami. Ito po yung gagawin a month from now, maybe 2 months from now, maybe 3 months from now. Yung card. Why is it very important to a person who is going to be vaccinated by the City of Manila to have this? Because it has QR code and it will give certain level of confidence among each other that when a person claimed that he was vaccinated or she was vaccinated, there is a proof on it. And this will keep, alam mo yung level of anxiety, mapababa man lang namin, yung kaba, yung pangamba. We are already, thanks to Dr. Fox Pangan and to our 6 director of hospital, I tasked them last week, I want a plan. In the absence of the plan from DOH, yet we must do a plan for us. Then, kapag lumabas niya sa DOH, tingnan ninyo yung plano natin, i-adapt nyo yung national government policy. Tapos i-tweak nyo na lang kasi may kanya-kanyang geographical challenge, logistical challenge, di ba? And organizational challenge. So, meron lang konting tweak.
Thank you, Mayor.
I'm just saying, Juliet, with regard to your question and to the viewers, it's a simple assurance that Mayor Zamora and other mayors are really trying to come up with something. But it's always magbe-benepisyo kayo. And your government is not perfect. And in fact, there is no playbook about this and I don't want that to be an excuse. No? Yung alam mo yung naghahanap ka na lang ng alibay or other thing, no? We just want to move on and we need everybody's cooperation. Yes, that 1 billion can be utilized. Kung alam mo, maganda ang maganda yung tama sa iyo, Juliet, at talagang maganda yung study. If I can put you in a safe way, healthy way, and go back to normalization, I don't care to spend 1 billion, additional 1 billion or 2 billion, just to keep every Manileños and those people who will come here safe and unharmed with this coronavirus.
Wow, big commitment, Mayor. Thank you. I wish we had more time, but we've overextended. So it's time to close. I really wanted to ask the two mayors, having displayed your leadership in these very difficult times, that would you be open to running for a national position in 2022? Maybe you can just address that in your closing remarks. So Mayor Francis, having taken on the Estradas, maybe you'll have your closing. You can have your closing statement now, and maybe just mention a little bit about my question. Go, Mayor Francis first.
Well, first of all, I really plan to finish my 3 terms. Yung San Juan, alam nyo, for 50 years nasa ilalim ng isang pamilya at talagang naging templated yung governance nila. Parang walang innovations, walang bago. Parang yun at yun na lang, no? And I would like to finish 3 terms, God willing, through the help of the people of San Juan, no? Makatapos ako ng 9 na taon para mapakita natin yung kaibahan na pwedeng gawin ng isang leader na talagang hands-on, na isang leader na nag-iisip ng mga bagong paraan ng paglilingkod upang mapaganda ang aming lungsod. So, I'm flattered by your question, but categorically I'm stating that I will finish my 3 terms. Of course, I have to go through 2 more elections, but ako naman, yung unang araw pa lamang naman ng paglilingkod natin hanggang sa dulo, yan ay pagtatanim ng maayos upang mapakita natin sa San Juan na hindi po sila nagkamali sa kanilang pag-suporta sa atin nung nakarang halalan. And I'd like to thank Inquirer for inviting me. Of course, I'm thankful that I was given the chance to share about our best practices here in San Juan. Sana kahit kaunti, meron po kaming kaunting information na nabahagi sa inyo na pwede naman pong gayahin ng ibang lungsod. I'm thankful to Mayor Isko. Alam nyo, kanina naglolokohan nga tayo, no? Siguro sabihin ko na rin ngayon as part of my closing remarks. So kami ni Mayor Isko, maraming pagkakaparehas, no? Pareho kaming Francisco, parehong nasa ilalim ng isang pamilya dati bilang vice mayor, no? Pareho kaming may dinaan ng pagkatalo sa eleksyon, ngunit pareho kaming nanatiling nagsusumikap, hindi kami nag-give up, no? Hindi kami tumigil, at ngayon ay nabiyayaan ng pagkakataon na maging mayor ng Manila at San Juan. So si Mayor Isko, sa totoo lang, talagang I look at him with high respect. I've seen how he has performed well in Manila. Siya ang pwedeng-pwede sa 2022. Ako, dito lang ako. So, suporta lang ako kay Yorme kung ano mga plano niya sapagkat bilang kaibigan, bilang kapwa mayor, no? At nakita ko naman yung aggressiveness niya in terms of leadership. And I honestly look up to him with a lot of respect. So, kung si Yorme magdidesisyon sa 2022, yan, pag-usapan natin, Yorme. Dito lang ako. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Mayor Francis. Ayan, Mayor Isko, meron ka ng endorsement. So what would it take for you to run for president in 2022 along with your closing remarks for today? Go ahead, Mayor Isko.
Una, no? Thank you, Mayor Francis Tocayo. Mag-iingat ka. I know it's really hard for us to govern hundreds of thousands of people nowadays. Maraming pwedeng lumabas na suliranin. But be that as it may, we must hold on, move on. And I think the people are really expecting more than what is required from us nowadays. Maraming salamat sa magagandang salita mo, Mayor Francis. Pero going back to the question, unang-una, sabi ko nga sa inyo, what is important today? How are we going to react, adapt, address this pandemic? I think more than anything else, kaya yung mga ibang mga politiko dyan, yung mga atat, no? mas nauuna sa kanila yung alam mo yung MEMA, yung MEMA sabi lang. I think yung panawagan ko pa rin mananatili. Upo muna tayo, focus muna tayo, magligtas muna tayo ng tao. Dahil may tiyak na kamatayan eh. May tiyak eh. May kamatayang tiyak. O, kaya kung tayo totoo sa sinumpaan nating tungkulin, no, na sabi natin, maglilingkod tayo ng tapat, ng maayos, no, pangangalagaan ng kapakanan ng bawat tao. Di ba mga salita yun na ginagamit pagka nanunumpa ka? Ito yung panahon na yun ng patunay. So more than political interest, kung ano man ang meron sila. Unang-una, hindi naman kayo sigurado kung aabot din kayo sa eleksyon. Ba't kayo nagmamadali? Yun yung sa akin. Kaya yan ang bagay na hindi, lalo nung pagpasok ng pandemya, hindi ko yan nisip. Kasi one way or another, sigurado ba tayo makakaligtas dito? No. Diba? Let the natural course of law or natural course of nature, na mag-apply. Saka yan, lahat na ganda dyan, natodas. Tingnan nyo si Pangulong Duterte, hindi naman naganda yan eh. Diba? So, my point is, more than politics, more than political growth, no? I think it's more on what the questions the people should ask, no? The question that people should ask our viewers, where were you during the pandemic? What did you do during the pandemic? I think that is the question. Kasi dito nakita yung halaga ng gawain ng mga taong pamahalaan. Lumiwanag sa isipan ng tao. Kaya ngayon nagki-create ng mga clouds ulit. Nagki-create ulit ng what we call smoke screen. But let me share it to the viewers. This you should demand later on. Ask those people who will aspire for higher office. For now, I have obligation to the people of Manila. If they are going to re-elect me, thank you very much. But that is 2022. For the meantime, the mandate given to me, and I thank the people of Manila for giving me a chance to lead the city, especially in these troubled times, which is very hard. In fact, wala pa akong nakikitang tagumpay namin. Hindi ko pa siya nakikita dahil we still continue to manage the risk. So it's all about risk management because there is still a risk existing, cannot be denied. 412. There is about 2,000 plus in Metro Manila. So there is still risk. So wala pang nagtagumpay sa aming lahat. So kaya tingin ko, ang pinakamabisa ay yung aming sinumpaan noong 19, noong 2019, na maglingkod ng maayos hanggang 22. Then we submit ourselves to the people. In our case, like Mayor Zamora is doing good for the people of San Juan. And hopefully, we'll do the same here in Manila and all other mayors in our respective localities. So tingin ko yun yung dapat na mag-focus yung iba. But don't get me wrong, thank you very much sa inyo na ako'y napupusuan ninyo. Nagagalak ko ako hindi ako plastic ako rin tao din ho ako nakikilig-kilig din at nakikiliti rin ng tenga ko minsan. Parang talaga, pwede ako, ba't niyo ako sinama? Ba't sinama yung pangalan ko? Ang dami namang dyan, Avengers. Ang dami naman dyan mga super heroes, mga kilalang tao, mga altas sa syudad. I'm grateful. Thank you very much. I don't want to offend anybody, especially those people who are seeing me na posible. Thank you very much po. But just support me first. Ako na po nakikiusap sa inyo. Suportahan niyo muna ako na mailigtas yung utaw, yung mamamayan. Mapapanatag natin ang katayuan ng bawat pamilyang Manileño. Doon niyo muna ako tulungan. Pagdating ng araw, saka na tayo mag-usap-usap. For the meantime, I will focus on Manila the way Mayor Zamora said a while ago. May panganib pa. Kaya yun ang kailangan nating tutukan. So, Juliet,
Yes.
to the
Well
Inquirer
said,
family, happy anniversary on
Thank
your
you.
35th anniversary. To everyone there, congratulations. I wish you all the best. And hopefully, the next time around is 50 years, golden years
Yes.
of Inquirer service to the people of this country and trying to reach and inform as many Filipinos as possible, not only in the country, by adapting to technology like what you're doing right now, we are reaching Filipinos all over the world. So congratulations to Inquirer, to the team, lahat kayo dyan. Please keep safe at maging matagumpay sana pa yung mga darating nyo pang taon.
Thank you very much, Mayor Isko, for that greeting. We appreciate that. And when you're ready to answer the 2022 question, please come to us, give us the scoop. Okay, this has been a really enlightening and very enjoyable session. We extended, but really we wanted to ask more from our two mayors. But sadly, we have to end this session. But before that, I want to remind our viewers and our readers to take advantage of the 30-day free trial of Inquirer Plus, the Philippine Daily Inquirer's digital edition. For more information, you can visit inquire.com.ph/Inquirer Plus and check out the QR code on your screens. This has been a special edition of Inclusive. This is Juliet Javellana. I'm saying thank you and happy 35th anniversary to my company, the Philippine Daily Inquirer. Thank you, Mayor Francis, and thank you, Mayor Isko, for joining us today. Thank you very much.